Our livestock marketing specialist, Dr. Derrell Peel, is on the road this week, but he has some new inventory numbers to talk about. Derrell, thanks for being with us and carving some time out of your schedule.
Yeah, you bet. Happy to be here.
So let's talk about these numbers. We've been waiting for them for a while, and in general, what did they show?
Yeah, so we got the January annual inventory numbers from USDA last Friday and at the end of January. And so yeah, this report gives us our main snapshot for the year of where we stand with cattle inventories. For the most part, there were no major surprises in the numbers. And in fact, you would characterize this report as saying the industry, which has gotten smaller for several years now, continues to get smaller by and large. So the story really hasn't changed. The underlying market fundamentals remain exactly as they were before, very strong, and will continue to be strong as we go forward.
So you kind of characterize this as the story continues. This is just kind of the next chapter as we evolve on sort of the same narrative.
Yeah, it really is. Again, we just keep advancing the timeline. We've sort of been watching this for a couple of years now to see if we're going to start changing. And the change we're looking for, of course, is to put a bottom in the beef cow herd, specifically from a cattle cycle standpoint, and start some herd rebuilding. And this report tells us that we haven't really done that yet and have relatively limited prospects of doing it anytime soon.
Let's look a little more closely at the specific numbers and kind of what you are keeping track of. Kind of give us a rundown of those on the national picture, and then we'll look at Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah, you bet. So, the all cattle and calves inventory, the broadest measure of cattle in the country, was just fractionally smaller than a year ago. It was actually down less than 0.5%, but it was smaller. Again, importantly, our focus is on the beef cow herd. And that did get smaller by 1% this year, which is a little bigger decrease than I would have expected. It could have been up a little bit, but it's not a surprise that it's down. It may be a little bit of a surprise that it's down quite this much. Maybe more important going forward is the beef replacement heifer inventory. That's going to be what tells us our prospects for future growth. That was up slightly, 0.9%. But that's not enough. If you look historically at cattle cycles, that's not enough to suggest we have any real ability to grow. It just means that we're maybe kind of stabilizing, probably increases the odds that the beef cow herd number we see is the low this year, although that's not a guarantee either. But the replacement heifer number certainly suggests that we are not growing, and we don't have a lot of prospects for growth anytime soon.
When you look at Oklahoma numbers, are they kind of along those same lines?
Pretty similar. If you look at Oklahoma, and particularly compared to the other major beef cattle states, Oklahoma's beef cow numbers were actually up slightly, 0.4%, so less than 0.5%. But Oklahoma was one of just a few states out of the top 10 beef cow states that was up. Most of them were down. So I think 7 out of the top 10 states were actually down, contributing to that 1% decrease nationally. Oklahoma was up slightly. Our beef replacement heifer number was up 1.5%. So we're trying to turn the corner a little bit in Oklahoma, but again, it's at a relatively modest pace, and nothing really aggressive at this point in time.
All righty, Derrell. Well, we know you have a busy week. You're in Louisville, Kentucky, and then you're headed to the National Cattlemen's meeting this week as well.
Later today, I will be heading to Nashville from here, so I'll be down there for a couple of days.
Well, thanks for spending a few minutes with us. Safe travels, and we will see you again very soon.
You bet. Thank you.